This is LA Noire Part 16, The Naked City, a DLC case that...
Matt!
16A. That's right, we're splitting it up because it's long as shit. But it's a DLC case that came free with your pre-order, so some of you may have played it.
All right. Is this going to be not safe for work also?
Actually, surprisingly, no.
187 at 5810 Murata Avenue. Homicide wants you over there. The coroner thinks the broad was whacked using the army morphine. Don't say anything, Roy. Just get over there.
I don't even know what he thought Roy was going to say there.
Probably something about why are we wasting our time, or we closed that case.
What's that getup of yours anyway? I should start introducing us as Detective Earl. This is my science teacher, Mr. Phelps.
Your interest in my appearance is starting to get me worrying.
Like it or not, we're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
How?
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
So I meant to point out, this Vice desk has taken us to a new police station. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
We're actually at the Hollywood police station now, instead of Central in downtown.
I assumed you were just starting from a different point in the building and going to a different point.
No, I realized it when I didn't make a U-turn and run over a hot dog vendor like I had done at the start of every single other case.
Seem distracted.
Oh,
We
yes.
recovered the
Wow,
morphine.
okay.
Some of it might be unaccounted for. So what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of LA forever, and we're wasting our time on some hunk.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking.
Both valid points, actually.
Yeah. Ooh, that was well done. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Cole clearly has the moral high ground here, but taking the someone's little girl route was... What?
Take me out to the ball game. I thought I could cut through, apparently I cannot. So I was just going to do a quick home run.
That was a bit piling on the sap too much.
I think to Roy's point, though,
Take the next right.
he joined Vice to change, crime and drugs on a larger scale. He left Homicide, or never joined Homicide, because he's not worried about one body. He's worried about the whole city.
That makes sense as an attitude for a Vice cop to have. Cole still doesn't really work as a Vice cop particularly.
He's just a case man in general.
Yeah.
Second floor. Apartment 6. In the back.
Thanks.
He doesn't really have a well-considered plan for dealing with any moral ambiguity.
Right.
Bukowski, you made Homicide.
That I did.
Yay!
Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with this?
Relax, Rusty.
Aww.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead.
It's a big reunion. We're getting the partners back together.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool idea for a case.
I was
Yeah.
going to scrub the bathroom. And there she, floating. I really can't talk about this anymore.
This is all top-end of found stuff. Gives us somewhere to look.
She was a fashion model, they said?
Yep.
A modeling assignment. It's a place to start. Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
That dress is bizarre.
Agreed. So The Naked City is the name of a film, which this case was inspired by. I learned from the case's wiki page. I have not actually seen the film, though.
Huh. Did it say what the film is about?
I think you will have an understanding of what the film is about as you watch this case progress.
All right. So this is her apartment, which she has decorated with nothing but photos of herself.
Well, just like my apartment, really. I think I found the murder weapon.
I don't think so.
Cole doesn't.
But ladle.
I did think the 3-foot square close-up of your face hanging directly over your television was a bit much, I'll be honest.
This is definitely the murder weapon. No?
She had flour instead of blood, right?
Yes, she's a gingerbread
how...
cookie. It's true.
Yes. Hey, that's not her. That is, okay. Oof, I was already wandered into someone else's apartment by mistake.
Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
Sleeping pills?
Yeah.
Looks like barbiturates.
Barbiturates are sleeping pills, right?
Yes.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing?
Those are glued down or something?
Don't overthink it.
We should speak to a doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
I don't remember Benzedrine. What's Benzedrine?
I'm assuming, based on his comment, that it's a pick-me-up of some kind.
I guess so. Well, maybe she was manic-depressive.
Could come with the territory as a model.
Phelps?
Val, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
Thanks,
The
Roy.
victim was alive when she entered the tub. Water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
May I took a look?
Be my guest.
But I thought that Rusty's
Take a closer look at her head and neck.
theory was that she overdosed.
The neck is bruised pretty badly.
Yeah, right? But I guess if you overdose and then drown, she had to have gotten into the bathtub herself.
Yeah, but maybe she overdosed and then
Bruising
slipped
on
under the water.
forearms
Yeah,
and
that's true.
These look like bite marks.
Very good.
The werewolf?
And no, there's no sign of a missing ring. See? The ring's still there.
Very unusual ring.
I was just thinking that.
Could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
It spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
Wouldn't there be a puncture wound somewhere if she hadn't been injected?
It sort of looked like there was on her arm, actually, but they said that was
Oh.
a bite mark. I don't know.
No. The bite marks were like the oval-shaped things. Like you could...
Yeah, but they did
I
have,
think.
they had holes in the center of them. I don't know if they did or
Couldn't
not.
take it anymore.
Huh. Oh, they might have done that to
So she
cover
ran
it
herself
up.
a bath and down some pills, and then she just drifted off.
I don't know. Miss Julie, she always had so much fire, so much drive.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact. Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Press.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, what?
No, I think it's the prescription.
Oh, huh. Amphetamines. Okay, thank you. Yes, that would be an upper.
I don't know which one.
Ah, that makes sense.
I guess it's sleeping pills.
Okay, so here, so the sleeping pills are...
She was taking barbiturates.
Okay.
She couldn't sleep. You must have seen them in her room.
You've seen the pillbox, the things she hid in there. I don't know how she supported herself. Always new clothes and jewelry. She lived like a movie star. A princess. Does modeling really pay that well?
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Truth.
Doubt, I guess.
No.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynoldson?
Oh,
Julia
okay.
had men stay here.
I will not speak ill of the dead. You can't prove that.
Got it.
Who owns the smoking jacket?
I wouldn't like to tell tales, you understand. That's Mr. Henderson's. An older man, very distinguished looking. He seemed very much in love with her.
Where would we find him?
I'm sorry, I don't know. He said he lives in San Francisco.
Road trip.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Cole's expression. Oh, that's great.
Mrs. Reynoldson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it. Not the way it's turned out, though, is it?
Thanks, Mrs. Reynoldson. You've been very helpful. One of the other detectives will take your statement, and then you can go home.
Let's go up for some SF Noire.
Yeah, this was, of course, a few decades before you needed to want it all and want it
next?
now.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to go digging around in drains trying to support Mal's theory? You go ahead. I'm not getting...
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
So Cole's in charge now.
Carruthers has called it right?
Nice, is more
Rarely gets it
confident.
wrong.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
It does seem odd that the other guys are refusing to even look in the dumpsters and such.
Yeah. I'm not hearing any chimes.
It's actually, that probably makes sense given that Cole was like a military officer and he's used to just being in charge of a team.
Right.
Probably feels more at home with 3 other cops on the case than he does with just a single partner.
Actually, yeah, that's probably true. Not sure where we're supposed to find these Surrettes. Do you have any ideas?
I assumed the dumpster, but there wasn't a chime for it. Whoa! All that crap just disappeared. There was like a ton of stuff there when you walked by earlier.
The case
That's
of
really
the
odd.
missing garbage.
The vanishing garbage.
Well,
Maybe around the edges of the parking lot, across the street, literally in the gutter.
Yeah.
Inside the telephone pole, check for woodpecker holes. They might not really be woodpeckers.
What are we missing?
I'm at a loss.
Let's go back to the apartment.
All right.
But you got the chime for everything being done in there. I mean, they didn't just, like, literally throw away the syringes in the apartment's trash. Would they have?
Well, I just heard the chime.
Oh, okay.
But his line about crawling through the sewers really made me start thinking, like, outdoors.
Mal will
you
be
know?
pleased.
Yes, me too.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
The autopsy will confirm it one way or another.
I think our work is
So is
done
that a common
here.
thing to leave a murder weapon at the scene of a crime? It seems like it
In-
happens way too often there.
Yes.
Yes to which part? It happens too often, or it's common?
It happens too often. I mean, it implies that the criminals are really dumb. Because that's such an easy thing, a mistake to not make. So we're going to this place where she has done work in the past to try and learn more about her.
Bukowski,
Yeah.
Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I noticed you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch.
Wow.
Interesting.
Drama.
Yeah. Bukowski is totally not a pushover, though.
He's just a little green, right? That's okay.
Yeah, Rusty may be past his prime a bit as a detective, but Bukowski is the one who actually stood straight up to the mafia guys in the
Turn
Fallen
left up
Idol
ahead.
case.
Yep.
When Cole's just all acting very policeman-like. Yeah, Roy's not a good person, but he's very smart and very funny. And that can masquerade as being a good person for quite a while.
He sort of feels like a Mad Men character, actually.
Yep.
I recognize that guy from the paper. He's a cop.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I'm looking for a
I
dress
hope
in a
I haven't
size
done anything
4.
wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Why is this woman so familiar
Could
to
you
me?
tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, a wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look?
Cole's not acting like himself.
That's
No,
some
not at
pearl,
all.
Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you.
That was really odd.
She really has the madman secretary
How did you meet
vibe.
Julia?
I was introduced through my fiance, Henry Arnett.
Truth?
Henry is your beau. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
I do not understand why he so dramatically changed his approach to questioning right there.
Yeah, I don't
Can you
understand
drive
why
to
we
this
want her fiance.
Do we know where we're going?
Because he knows, he knew Julia.
And at this point, we're just trying to shake down any lead we can.
Yeah, pretty much. And because the owner of that store
Nice
said...
move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Two things. One, the owner of the store noted that Julia tended to attract husbands with wandering eyes.
Right.
Two, I was wondering whether Cole was supposed to be acting differently because Roy's little diatribe right before then needled him a bit.
Oh,
and he's trying to act like the way he thinks vice cops are supposed to.
Yeah, it could be. I'll buy it.
I think it was still more distracting than anything, but I'm wondering if that's what the writers intended.
I'm assuming there's some Easter eggs in here.
Here, Stoneman, office 505.
But it's probably just like developers or their family.
I don't recognize anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, same. Nice elevator.
Yeah.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
That was some ominous sound effects.
Yeah, right? Tower of Terror. Thank you for that zoom in. Dramatic.
Nice office building, though.
Yeah, I like the blinds.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Hurts to walk, hurts to sit down, and now I got policemen riding me like I'm a criminal. Get lost.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
Press?
So this is...
No, the prescription is older than that, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's where it gets tricky, because I'm like, was July 46 more than 6 months ago?
It's 1947 right now.
Julia Randall has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, Detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Okay. It's 1947 at the moment, so it's got to be at least more than 6 months.
Yep.
Your prescriptions contradict you, Doctor.
Miss Randall was in the fashion business, as you probably know. She was jumped up on Benzedrine by day and knocked down by sleeping pills at night. I told her to slow up, but no. Life was too short for her.
And you supplied the prescription for the Benzedrine.
It's not illegal, Detective. A lot of young women in her line of work use it for weight loss.
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion
Didn't we,
business.
what?
She wanted to control her weight.
Press, I guess.
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, Doctor.
As I warned her, but she was determined. She said she needed it to control her appetite.
Sounds like you knew her pretty well.
I knew the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
What exactly did we accomplish here? And why did he lie about how long he'd been seeing her? Wait, that's that same picture. That's the exact same picture.
From the apartment?
Yeah.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
This still doesn't.
Still
pertain to
doesn't.
the case.
No good to me.
Okay, well, good investigation. I think we're finished here. So far, we have confirmed that a doctor writes prescriptions and that medicine is present in a doctor's office.
I mean, it's nice that
What do
they
you think?
modeled the whole
Crime
office.
scene reports might be back by now. You should check for messages.
But
hurts to walk, hurts
yeah,
to
we
sit
got
down,
that.
and now I got police riding me like I'm a criminal. Get lost.
I'm just going to use your
Operator,
phone.
give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Man, I do not understand anything about this scene
Phelps,
here.
1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
I guess it gave us some character development,
Thank you.
insight into who she was, how she lived
Al?
her life.
I guess.
Can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Your investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here. Leave me alone.
Wow.
I do love those blinds, though. That's something that we've been missing from noir aesthetic, you know, the noir look.
Yeah. Yep, those are very well done. That... Okay. I think you want to investigate the Pelican connection. I bet...
The old boy is lying.
About what?
It's the artist.
Don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Kind of feels like he's stretching there.
I bet they were all involved in a sex cult
You
in the
drive.
back room of the
He's going to the
Pelican
case
nightclub.
It's sort of like the silver
Where
dollar
are
for
we
this
going?
case. The Pelican painting.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep an eye out. It might be the new Oxy
Have you
doll.
noticed how Croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
Broker.
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
Well, maybe you should get him drunk. Let's all go to the Pelican. Have a few. It'd also, you know, be nice if there were some legal way to force a doctor to share those records.
Yeah, it's a shame there's no
But unfortunately, this is a
process
world
like
without...
that.
Yeah, world without warrants. I'm assuming that includes any kind of court order.
Detectives Phelps and Earl here to see the coroner.
Yes, Detective. He's waiting for you in the examination room.
Huh. Just an extra little cutscene if you talk to her first.
Are you drunk,
Suppose so.
mister, or you just cracked?
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
New clue, murder.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 syrettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. Listening. No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Not pretty.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine.
Is it an actual harmonica or is it hollow?
Carruthers. Yeah, he's here.
Seems to be actual.
I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Because that harmonica...
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
God, Roy is such an ass. Because that harmonica would be the perfect shape to hide one of the morphine syrettes.
That's true.
Those vice boys get any on the side?
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Burrow. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. That's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julie.
So this guy's mafia, right?
Huh, because he has a nice suit. No, he's fashion.
How well
so that
did you
makes
know
sense.
Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled.
The suit, the haircut, I don't know. He just looks straight up Italian mob.
He's asking whether you banged her in a chuck on the shoulder fraternity kind of way.
I'm engaged to be married. It wouldn't be polite.
Answer the question.
This will remain private. Heather won't have to know. Yes. We had relations.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Spill it, Henry. You
What?
know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I don't know what it would have
I'm
been.
sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
What possible evidence?
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
I bet that's the case for if you had said lie, Cole would have accused him of something very specific.
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
Drink. You got the juice again. You're some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
The 6th joined up with Cole in the flashbacks.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
It's actually been a fairly difficult case so far.
I really like it, though. I'm enjoying
that
the
car at the
development of the story.
It's pretty complex. There's a lot of characters and a lot of detectives.
Yes, but I'm having a much easier time following it than I was.
He was squirming like a worm in there.
The first
Don't you
Vice
love it when
case,
they
for
pull
instance.
the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
So maybe you appreciate the more complex cases.
Well, there's motivation here. Like, there's a clear crime that you're
looking at us, Cole.
That you're investigating.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
God damn it, Cole. Like, there's a clear narrative thread. You understand who you're trying to find, as opposed to just a nebulous, there are some drugs out there. Go get them.
And that person is Mr. Henderson?
Maybe? I just meant, you're trying to find the people who... Maybe I just like Homicide better than Vice.
That's funny.
I don't know.
I don't like these tailing things, because I had clear line of sight and was obeying traffic
Careful,
back
we'll
there.
get spotted at this distance.
And it told me to speed up. Then I speed up, and then I have to, like, stop in the middle of the road, because
Yeah,
that's
but
more
apparently that's not-
believable than being
Right.
directly behind her. Whatever. Tailing cases are dumb. People who
Yeah.
like tailing cases are dumb.
At least he doesn't stop, like, do a U-turn to look behind him, and then keep going every 3 blocks. Yeah, I think it's just I like the structure of murder mysteries more than the sort of more nebulous Vice cases. Also,
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
Cole seems more motivated, more sort of commanding on this one, more in charge and competent. Possibly because Roy was needling him so much about his partners and he feels he's got to... I don't know. I guess it doesn't quite make sense, but he's
also
a better
matured
detective now.
Yeah, he's also matured as a detective.
Yep.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll start with him. See how he intends to spend the money.
Oh no.
Can't risk losing the trail.
I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
What was I gonna say?
You're so excited that we have another tailing case?
Yes, clearly. No, the length of this case means that they can pace it much like an actual detective movie, or at least a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
It's 90 minutes long. That's enough time to really get a slow build going instead of just a single television episode.
Yep, I agree.
So... I think that's they're using the time well, as it were. Like, they're not just making it longer for its own sake.
From the newspaper.
Damn it, he stopped and turned around. Nothing to see here. Fail. What you didn't realize is that it's 90 minutes long because I spend 45 minutes failing at this tailing mission over and over and over again.
Tell me we at least get through this before the heartbreak,
The
please.
break point? Yes, we will.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. He's standing there staring right at you.
I'm quite good at this.
Oh god, this sucks.
Failing that so impressively just gave me a little piece of inspiration, though. So check this out.
Move in.
See, I'm proud of this move.
I'll bring the car
I think
around
this
when
is
I'm
very
done
clever.
here.
Does this work?
It's very inconspicuous to be driving in the left-hand lane at 3 miles per hour in a convertible, staring at the guy that you are tailing.
This is gonna work, isn't it?
Oh yeah, totally. Nothing to see here.
Like, by game logic, oh, he's gonna stop at the other side of the intersection, you better wait here.
Yep, I better stop at this green light.
The lights are really a formality. Hey, it's the mustachioed coffee mug billboard in the upper right. Man, it's been a while.
Why is that car honking at me? I am at a red light.
For the moment.
This light never turns green, by the way. It's been red for a really long time.
Yeah, I can't remember a time when it was green.
No harm.
There he is. You've got your headlights on.
I know. Pointed directly at him.
Oh, God.
Oh, he turned down an alley, you say. I could follow you in this car. Alright, fine.
You probably could.
I don't want to risk losing this checkpoint again. I'd be too frustrated.
Does it tell you when you pass a checkpoint?
No. What is that shop?
Oh.
Alcua.
A travel company.
What a weird name.
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
It's a good thing Cole can hear that conversation.
LAPD. The man who just came in
Oh,
here,
okay.
bought a ticket.
Yes, sir. To Mexico City tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City tomorrow night.
That's good. But this is better.
Oh my God. It's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look on the pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over. The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
You kind of feel bad for the pawnbrokers. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess they make
I
a
know.
career out of ripping people off, but still, you kind of feel bad for them.
What did that message say?
So, like,
I couldn't actually read it. I thought I was going to zoom in or read it out loud or something.
it implied that it was a gift of some kind.
But from whom? Wouldn't that be important to know?
I think we're going to call it in right now.
Okay. Hey, more Parnell's ads.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Messages, please.
Yes, Detective. Detectives Bukowski and Galloway request you return to the Hollywood station. They have information in the Julia Randall case.
Any luck with the arrest record check on Jimmy LeBlanc?
Yes, Detective. Jimmy LeBlanc's last arresting officer was Patrolman Fred Wallace. He's posted the Hollywood 9th Beat Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Thanks, ma'am.
Is Wallace also a former colleague of yours?
Doesn't the name sound familiar? I can't pin it, though.
I don't remember who your partner in the very first case was.
You can drive.
All right, where to?
Huh.
Well, we're nearing
One-way
our
ticket to
midpoint.
Mexico.
Yep.
Old Henry's looking as guilty as a dog next to a pile of dog shit.
What's his motive?
I can think of a few, but I'd put my money south of the belt. One guy plus 2 dames always equals problems.
That's where we're pausing it for today.
All right. I like the song playing in the radio in the background there.
Yeah.
Well, cool. There's a good mystery building up here.
I agree. I actually
Much
had a
better
little bit of
place.
trouble following this case. I thought it was a bit too complex for me, but I think you tend to prefer the more complex cases, so this one might be right up your alley.
Well, I like the more character-based ones, I think. I think that may be what it is. The first couple Vice cases were all just about following the drugs, following the process. And here we're getting much more into, people who have hidden motives and, like, you're actually trying to read people for their own sake, not just, have they given you the information you need to get to the next link in the chain.
Yep. Yeah, I also think there's something interesting going on with the difficulty of playing versus watching. Like, I've sort of noticed you and some of the people in the thread. It's possible you guys are all just smarter than me, but also it's possible that you're able to pick up on more nuance as you observe the case as opposed to playing it. Because I know with this case, if I didn't have the wiki page open referencing a couple of those, doubt or lie moments, I would have been in a lot of trouble, especially early on in this case.
I can see that. Because they always do. I'm liking the advice that a couple of people have suggested, where you always say lie if you're not sure, and then he'll accuse them of something specific, and then if you don't have evidence to back that up, then you can just go with doubt.
Yeah, but that feels so gamey and hacky. I don't know. It just feels like I'm cheating when I do that.
I know, but there's a couple of ones, like that one where you said doubt and it was wrong, and I'm like, but the thing that they actually just said, you didn't have any evidence to contradict. So the game likes to pull the thing where it puts, when you say lie, it accuses them of something else that you weren't necessarily expecting.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's important.
Very true.
So it is game. I don't know.